Hello and welcome to Universal Co-Creation. I am Tiffany Feedy. We have Lauren Olivia here today and our special guest, Kristin Barker. This is our first episode of the first season of this series called Spiritual Makeover. And it's not as the way it sounds, it's just a fun title, but really there's so many people that we have that are in this process of learning about chakras and learning about boundaries and all these big words are going around, right? And people are trying to figure it out and navigate it by reading a meme here and a thing there and put it all together. And so we thought it would be a great job to come together and this beginning on this path. And maybe we'll go forward with people who are like, have no idea about any of it and are open and interested, but it's just an assistance. It doesn't mean that it's not like the makeover shows where you're doing something wrong and you need to be made over. Everybody on their path is perfect as they are. This is an assistance to hold space, to allow you or allow the client to integrate and to receive and we're like the cocoon, just the arms to assist and hold space for that. So I'll let Lauren chat and say hello, and then we'll show you how we're going to get started.
Yeah. So welcome to Universal Co-Creation, like Tiff said. Really, it is about helping you to discover your own path or create the path that you want. We were speaking off camera and I was just saying, it's like, we're not going to do anything that you couldn't do for yourself. What we're really doing is making it easier or making it quicker to get to that place. And my personal belief is that with any of this type of light work or, metaphysics, spirituality, is having a good solid foundation of working on ourselves is the platform that then you can go off and do all these other things. Because if I'm ungrounded, if I am not sure of some like basic tenets and principles about my physical form or my ability to connect with source, then I can kind of get lost in the ethers. We've all met those people who are kind of like almost seem like they're in the clouds constantly. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but like, it just is ungrounded. We came here to have these physical bodies and to appreciate and enjoy and experience all the things that they offer. And so having a really good foundation of understanding our chakra system, our physical bodies, and how that relates to being a multidimensional being, I think is the kind of the foundation that we're going for. Am I right, Tiff?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
how we develop that. And again, everybody has a personal process for how they develop it. What we're here to do is really just assist in that development.
So, yeah, we're here for questions and just any guidance, just like the guides, just like we have spirit guides, we're just in the flesh guides.
And really, it goes back to that universal co-creation. It's just about helping to co-create whatever is in your highest, greatest good.
Yep.
So all that being said, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be working with Kristin on really just looking into her energy body, her physical energy body, and assisting her to make some changes on that level. We're going to start with doing a small meditation, and then you will hear us talking about some of the things that we're doing. It's, if you can imagine, Kristin's in the middle and Tiff and I are on either side, and we're doing our own thing, but we're doing it collaboratively as we're assisting Kristin. And then we'll wrap up, and we're going to follow Kristin over the weeks and months to come and see how things are progressing, and she'll be able to share her feedback with you guys about what's going on. Like, oh my gosh, I felt nothing, or oh my gosh, I had the craziest dreams last night. Like, really kind of a real-time experience of her process. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment below. We'd love to hear from you guys. and we're going to go ahead and get started.
So begin by allowing your feet to be on the floor, get in a comfortable seat. Begin by taking some mindful breath at your own cadence, just leaning into your own body's awareness. And just allow yourself to begin by breathing in the light, bringing it down. And on your out breath, allow it to carry a voice, release. Whatever doesn't serve you, letting it go. And we allow the energy of Divine Mother Gaia to come through now and just assist in this process. As your channel, you're receiving light from Source and healing energy from Mother Earth, awakening and activating your senses, your chakras, your different auric fields, right? They're ready and they're eager and they're excited to have this experience, to have this opening, to have this shifting. So pay attention to the physical sensations and allowing whatever comes up that needs to be released on the out breath with this assistance. Lord.
Okay, so Kristin, go ahead and keep your eyes closed and set the intention to receive that which is in your highest, greatest good, as we've set the intention to do work that is only in your highest, greatest good. We invite you to this work with love. I ask you to relax. Now, Kristin, I'm going to do a process of connecting you with Gaia. It's going to create a foundation of connection with the earth, which is what supports this physical experience that we're having. There's no right or wrong way to experience this. What I do is I just take you down etherically into Gaia. And what I see, make it be completely different from what you see. But what I see is a cavern with moisture on the floor, like pools of water. Feels cool, but not cold. And what happens in this cavern is that Gaia connects with you, and you feel that energy into your body, and you have a knowing of your connectedness with the earth. And as you are connecting with not only grounding in Gaia, but the grid of Gaia, it's like plugging in an outlet. You are feeling yourself connected now. And the energy is flowing from Gaia up into you and from you down into Gaia. There are helpers there in that cavern that are helping to wash away anything that doesn't belong to you and anything that no longer serves you. It feels just like a cool shower, like under a waterfall. It's gentle. And as they help and assist with that, you really feel that fortification of your connection with Gaia. Now, slowly come back up to the surface. Now you're back on the surface. And although you're on the surface, you retain that knowing of your connection with Gaia. And that foundation of connection with Gaia allows your chakras to open up to receiving new information, opens them up to being receivers. Okay. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. Okay, Kristin, how are you feeling?
Good. Calm.
I could really see your crown chakra activated, and you're receiving a lot of information in through that crown. So I'm glad that we were able to get you grounded and gridded to the earth. Have you done any work with your base chakra or your root chakra?
What do you mean?
Have you like put any intention or focus to that chakra before?
Yeah, actually last week I did like a specific root chakra yoga session and just some like meditations on it. Not a bunch, but I have.
Yeah, so what it feels like is that chakra is asking to have some particular attention right now, just really to, again, build a strong foundation. Because what can happen is, because you have a very open crown chakra, so you probably are receiving all kinds of information, even if you're not having a conscious knowing of what you're receiving, you are receiving lots of information. But sometimes what can happen is with that crown is really open and our base chakra isn't as developed, it feels like we're kind of like top heavy like that. And so that intuitive knowing that you had that you needed to work on building that base chakra or a root chakra is perfect. I would continue to all you really need to do is like set intention and focus. You can maybe ask to put red energy there, or if you have like a red jasper or another stone that's good for working with your root chakra, you could just place it there and set the intention that it helps to bolster that chakra. And it's almost like I see it as giving it like an oil change. It really is just giving it fresh energy and attention and helping it to work in its best possible way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's funny because I really have been. I've like realized that I need to. I don't feel like I'm. I feel like my root chakra is blocked.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand a ton about chakras. I've been like delving into it more, but it's just like doing the yoga and just knowing like there's something I need to feel more connected, more rooted into the ground, and there's just something there. It's blocked. So I felt that.
Yeah.
And it's also good to, when you notice that, this is the practice of, this self stuff, this self-awareness stuff is allowing it to maybe doing the work that you're doing to work on it, to assist it, to pay attention to it, to love it, and then allow it to ask it to reveal to you. Ask it to reveal to you what is it that it needs. And that may come in form of, you may not even know, oh, this is what it's revealing to me, but it will reveal itself. And then you'll because you're intuitively connected, you'll say, oh, I need to eat this kind of food, or oh, this issue, especially since you're working with us, this issue about something in my past keeps coming up for me. I should probably bring that up to them. And that may be your root allowing you to reveal what needs love so that it can be released to assist you in really feeling that connection and feeling that openness. So putting a pin in it, noting it, and asking for it. And because you have an intuitive relationship with your physical form, with your chakras, and with your body, and it talks to you, and so when you allow it, it starts to happen more and more, and you're just like connecting with spirit. When you tune in and say yes, then they start coming more and more and more. So just have that sort of knowingness too. And when Lauren did this, it feels to me like all this stuff here, this intuition, this clairvoyance for you, and then it goes into a V here, and it kind of, there's like a trappingness here too. It feels like a little bit heavy in this area as well, and that will assist with the flow. But the foundation and the groundedness is, people forget, and it's really important. So
do you have a practice where you do gridding or you do grounding? Sorry, do you do like a grounding practice?
No, not really. I feel like I'm like super erratic with things right now. Like
Yeah.
I'll do stuff like here and there. I'll do it for a week or a couple of days, and then I'm like, oh, let me jump to this, or I'm just, things aren't aren't consistent.
And that's okay. I will say that the biggest stick that I beat myself up with is inconsistency. Because like, I'm like, I don't meditate like I should, or I don't meditate as often as I should, or I don't ground, it's like that, all that like should stuff. So what I would say is, when you remember, or when you feel called to, just set the intention to ground yourself. And the practice that I use, and it's super easy, and you can do it anywhere. You don't have to be outside. You don't have to be barefoot. That makes it kind of a little bit more dynamic, but you don't have to. Is imagine your root chakra, which is, all the way at the bottom of your pelvis. And imagine taking that energy from your root that goes, it splits out your hips, goes down your legs, out your feet, and into the earth. Imagine yourself sending that connection down into the earth. And the way that I used to see it is like, how like water seeps into the ground, like, I would see it seeping into the ground, and then I would feel that connection. And it's like, you can do that. It's like a 30-second intention. You can do it on the 5th floor of a building. Like I said, you can do it when you're actually outside, whatever works for you.
Yeah, I guess I do like some, I like to do, I like don't wear shoes a lot, and I've been going hiking and like intentionally not wearing my shoes. So it's not, I guess it's not like, I'm not like, while I'm walking on the ground, I'm not thinking, okay, I'm grounding myself, but it's like, I don't know, it's the intention, but not the intention. Does that make sense?
You've already had the intention. You already know this is what I do when I do this. And so this is becoming a habit in a good way. See, you don't think about brushing your teeth and why you're doing it all the time. You just do it.
Yeah.
So that can be something that you can work on over the next few days. And then when we get together again, I think what we'll do is we're going to kind of, what I see is like moving up through the chakras. And so, and as we move on to each, it's going to help to bolster the connection. So what we're doing is we're working on that connection with the root to the earth. And then we're also going to be working on the connection of the root to the sacral, to the solar, to the heart, to the throat, to the third eye, to the crown, to the universe. So that, because as I was taught, and I do believe that like we kind of have this column that runs through us, and where the chakras are situated. And so really keeping that column clear, and it allows the information to move through us easier from chakra to chakra.
Right.
I would like to I have like a little offering that wants to come through when Lauren was doing her meditation. So if you want to get in a comfortable, easy, just kind of get comfortable and get with your breath again. It's an offering. This is going to stay with you. This is a tool. It's going to be a tool that is held in by your higher self, by your spirit self. It's going to keep this almost like in a toolbox or a Pandora's box. It'll be held for you and kept sacred. So just allowing yourself to find your breath again, because you're an important part of this. You are the assistant. Without your breath guiding and allowing, that's why breath is life. So allowing it to be the assistant for these workings, these things that we do to come through. And so you are the pivotal key. It can't be done without your assistance. So notice a crystal at the top of your crown being held. There's a crystal held above you by your higher self, by your guides. It's like a almost 3, and holding this crystal above. And it can be whatever color you notice. And it begins to break off into fragments and tiny, tiny, tiny little microchips, almost like stars, but tiny, tiny crystals that are breaking off and falling into your crown, and they make their way down all through your head, these stars. Imagine when you eat like a hearty steel cut oatmeal and it just sloughs off the stuff. So these little fragments are awakening and activating each other kind of within your physical form and washing away, allowing assistance with that purification, allowing assistance with releasing the things that you're holding on to. So just notice and allow the process of these crystals to come through, and they release at your feet and go down into your earth star. So they go all the way down, and which this is a chakra point that is within the earth. So they're going down into the earth and then back up into the crystal, and they're sort of double cleanse process, and they go back in and down. And they do this process until they feel it is complete, till they notice that it's complete. And what they're doing also within you is activating little crystals that have been placed within your body. Think of like a microchip that's been waiting to be turned on. And so they're connecting, and they're within your physical form, just holding space for when they're needed to be turned on. They're not all going to be turned on now at this point, but they're just kind of slowly being brought back to an intelligent awareness within you. And so allow this kind of cleansing process to happen, and then they come back up, and then the crystal is removed and held for you at a time when you need it. You can just call upon it at any time. And then just allow this beautiful healing golden light to wash over you and sort of seal you up. And just come back to your breath. And anytime you feel like you need a sloughing off, you can just ask for that process and visualize it in your own way. How do you feel?
I feel calm, a little bit distracted. Like I don't know, for some reason I keep worrying.
That's okay.
I keep worrying that something's going to happen and make me not be able to pay attention. It's weird. Yeah, but I feel calm, and just like when both of you did like the little meditations, I can like feel it. And like Lauren, when you were, guiding me to connect with Gaia and imagine the water and the caverns, like my feet were tingling. So that was weird. That's cool. Weird, cool. So yeah.
I keep feeling, Lauren, and I don't know if you feel this, and if I don't want to let Kristin go yet until I don't know if you're feeling what I'm feeling here. It just feels like dense and heavy in this sort of area.
I was going to say earlier, I don't even remember what you were saying. And we were talking about the root chakra, and then I felt like a heavy lump in my throat. So I think there's something there. I think you're getting somewhere there.
Yeah, it's so it feels to me like there's like some resistance to speaking of the things that you are knowing, like almost like you'll be like, oh, I know I should turn left, but you don't, and then you should have turned left, like just kind of like those little things throughout the day that you're not giving voice to. So what I feel like we could do, Tiff, is put some focused attention on helping her to release what feels like a binding on her throat chakra. I don't want to, it doesn't feel like it's ready like for a full-on go, but it feels like just release some of the binding so that even if you're just speaking it to yourself, Kristin, initially, is that you can speak out loud the things that you want to express. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm writing some of this down.
Okay. So again, I always ask that you set the intention to receive what we're offering for you. Just gonna go to that throat chakra. See it with vibrant blue energy. And releasing some of the tension that's been holding it back from expressing. You can let go of the fear associated with expressing yourself, expressing your intuitive knowing. And it's almost like we go in and we look at it in like a 3D type of way. Like we're looking at the entire chakra and offering it the opportunity to express. And just know that you are safe and divinely supported in this. Tiff, do you have anything else to offer for this?
So I'm just offering my breath, just blowing this, almost this soothing breeze, this oceany, soothing breeze into your throat chakra, just sort of lightening it up and allowing it a little bit of a nice, cool relief feeling. And what Lauren said, just not so it's blast open, but just so it feels secure and safe, and just a reminder that your truth is worthy and valuable and beautiful. And that's it.
Okay. So Kristin, over the next few days, I invite you to keep some paper and pen at your bedside. And when you wake up, if you can remember to write down any dreams or even thoughts that you have as you're kind of coming into that wakeful state. So the space between sleep and awake is that liminal state. And so when you're in that, we often receive a lot of information, but then when we become fully awake, we either forget it or dismiss it. So if you can remember to, or if you have the time, try and write down those thoughts or notes on what comes through. Okay. And even if it's just a feeling, you're like, oh, I woke up and I felt afraid, or I woke up and I felt really blissful, or I had a dream about flying, whatever it is. And even if it seems kind of like random and bizarre, or that there's no correlation, I would invite you to just kind of write down all of it.
Okay. I will. When you guys were doing the throat chakra
question?
Well, I was going to say, actually, first, I'm like, wait a second. The throat chakra situation, I like, see, look, it's like weird. And it felt like a literal, it's not there anymore, but it felt like my throat was swollen. Like, you know, when you get that lump in your throat, if you're like sick and you're like, is there an actual lump in my throat? It felt that. And then I started like squeezing my hands really tight and like just feeling like, I don't know, just intense. But I'm like thinking like, what is it? Like, what is it that's not coming out? But that's like what I felt, just in case you guys were wondering. So yeah, I don't know if I have any questions though.
It's cool to notice that, because that's like that's your body literally talking to you. It's a sign like this is tense for me. This is me not wanting to allow it. Protection. It's a protection. It's a form of protection. I often touch my throat. I notice when I'm saying something I don't feel safe to say necessarily, and I'm fighting this inner thing. It's like the ego body that's trying to protect you and keep you from all this awareness stuff, because it's a leap, it's different, it's scary, it's unknown. And so it's like, no, this is safe. So it's like you're squeezing you're expanding, you're using your consciousness, your spiritual self to expand. And it's that internal younger, I don't know, thing that's like fighting it still, but it's okay that you notice that. And also with the dreams, writing down your dreams, when you notice things like that, or like little intuition, like write all that stuff down, because that's going to be really important on your journey.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to hear what happens for you over the next 24 to 48 hours, and maybe we can get together and we can talk about that. We can share that with the YouTube as well, because I think there's going to be some really cool occurrences for you over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Cool. Yeah, and there's some pretty heavy stuff going on in my life with other people, so it might be kind of, you know, intense, interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, the feeling that I got around your throat chakra was that, I keep using the word binding, but it's like there was somebody that was binding you from speaking your truth in a past life. And sometimes things that happen to us in a past life, kind of, we carry like the shadow of it into this life. And so it may be inexplicable why we would be having an issue with something in particular in this life, because maybe nothing has happened to us in this life that would cause us to have that issue, but it really is kind of just like an energetic holdover from a previous life. And so that was part of what I was feeling, is there was a little bit of some type of being held back in that previous life. And sometimes we do have, I mean, I don't know if you've heard the stories, but people will have like fear of water and then find out that they had passed drowning in another life. It's like we kind of have these inexplicable things. We're drawn to things that for no reason, and then find out, oh, well, that was something I was really into in a past life. So that's just as a little bit of information for you to be thinking about, if there is, because that information may also come to you. The other thing I'd say is that I always set the intention that the information that comes to you about past lives that you've had, or connections that you have to other entities or beings, always be of use and be of love and be of light. So that's the intention that I set for you in terms of the information that you receive.
Cool.
Okay. Well, I am so glad that you joined us. Thank you, Tiff, for this wonderful idea. I'm Lauren Olivia. This is Tiffany Feedy. We are Universal Co-Creation. You can watch our videos on weekly readings for weeks, predictions, energy forecasts, that kind of stuff. We also have videos on different topics, parenting, timelines, all kinds of stuff. And we're doing this series on kind of like a little makeover. It's going to be cool. So again, Kristin, thank you so much for joining us. Like, subscribe, comment below. We're really glad you guys are here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.